Let's take a journey through time. Here's South Korea in the 1950s. Its per capita income is just $108.7. And here's Thailand, with a per capita income of $140.9. Back then, they weren't too far apart. But now, let's fast forward 6 decades. Watch how this gap unfolds. South Korea surges ahead, reaching a per capita income of nearly $33,121, while Thailand lags at around $7,182. What changed? The answer lies in what they built. South Korea chose the path of a product-driven economy, whereas Thailand took the path of services economy. To understand this, answer one simple question. How many brands from Thailand can you recall? And how many South Korean companies can you name? And that's why this distinction matters. Now let's shift our focus to India. Where do we stand today? India is already the 5th largest economy with a GDP of $4.27 trillion. But that's just the beginning. We are poised to become the 3rd largest economy in the world and will be close to $10 trillion soon. But getting there and staying there is the real challenge. We have 2 paths ahead of us. We can either continue to align with larger economies, being a trade colony of China or a tech provider to the US. This means relying on their systems and playing by their rules. Or we can take the bolder path, becoming our own power, a product nation that drives its own destiny. And hence, strategic autonomy is the need of the hour and the only way. Before you ask, is it really that important? During COVID, the US restricted vaccine raw material exports, leaving India scrambling. This wasn't the first time global dependencies created vulnerabilities, and it won't be the last.
I'm here to tell you that area that's going to happen is to do with strategic autonomy. The reason why this is happening is to do with geopolitics. If we don't do this, we won't have a place in the world in the future. And this is now deeply understood in India and for many years. Now the question is, will we be able to succeed in this area? And I think we will be able to do this because I think there is a very good understanding on how to do it. We know that we can't do it the BARC, ISRO, DRDO way. Although this did create strategic autonomy for us in nuclear, in space, in missiles, as you know. But this is not really a viable method for doing it in the future. The viable method in the future is to do with ecosystem building. And in ecosystem building, we've had this situation where we got a lot of learning in building India Stack, what is called as DPI right now. Then we applied that learning to a few other sectors. One of those is telecom. And that has worked very well for us. In fact, later you will get to talk to one of the winners in that telecom equipment sector. And that company is Tejas Networks. And how do you know they're a winner? They're a winner when they're in a circle of 5. But this is a remarkable feat, not only because the company did well, but because the ecosystem building that supported this company and many others, not all of them succeeded, but many others, actually was also done in a completely new way. And now that is going to be applied to 8 to 10 more sectors. We are focused on 9 right now.
For India to gain strategic autonomy, it is very crucial that all the critical elements of technology that are needed in our economy, whether it is a communication infrastructure, whether it is an ability to produce electronics or ability to produce our own defense equipment or ability to have cyber security on which we have control, I think those critical elements of technology have to be within India. And when I say within India, which is the know-how, know-why, the design, and the future readiness or future development capability should exist within the country. So there are 2 ways we can achieve this. Of course, one thing which is absolutely critical is we have to invest a lot more in R&D because nobody in the world would give the IPR on which they have spent billions of dollars for free for you. So I think we have to develop that IPR. But as a jumpstart or as a starting point, we can potentially license the background IPR or stuff which has been done so that we... Secondly, I think it is today very, very clear that we will be a part of a global value chain. Something will happen in India, something will happen in China, something will happen in the US, and everything will come together. But to be a part of global value chain, you have to have enough bargaining chips. The 2 bargaining chips that India has today, which we can use for strategic autonomy. Number 1 is a large home market. I think everybody in the world wants access to this market. And we need to make sure that we don't give this access on a free platter, but we basically make sure that we get a fair deal to secure our strategic autonomy as we go forward. The second area where we have a big advantage is manpower. So around 40 to 50% of the technology of the world, at least the Western world, is developed out of India with Indian engineers as a part of global capability centers, outsourcing outsourcing, etc., etc.
Strategic autonomy is essential for a country like India, which is hoping to become the third largest economy in next few years. And this is best explained in terms of the defense market. We have had manufacturing of large number of equipment for decades, but all of this was based on transfer of technology, TOT agreements. And all these TOT agreements are notoriously one-sided. The know-why is never transferred and only know-how is shared. And this know-how invariably excludes key components or subsystems, particularly those involving critical technologies. Therefore, strategic autonomy is the only way to be out of this dependence. We can look at it in two ways. Globally, what's going to grow very fast in defense? In my opinion, I think space, underwater, and drones will see fastest growth. Also, critical minerals, because of stranglehold of one country, we will see critical minerals in other parts of the world also growing very fast. If you look at the Indian context, however, we will actually see an all-round growth in defense industry because we are at a very nascent stage and tremendous growth is possible across. But specifically in India, we will see emerging tech areas where we as a country, where we have large talent pool, we will have relative advantage and we will see big growth. For example, unmanned platforms, artificial intelligence, space, all these we will be particularly strong.
India's investment in R&D is 0.7% compared to like China's 2.5, US is 3.5 of the GDP. And you can imagine their GDPs are 5 times and 10 times higher than us. The total investment in R&D is very high. And that is very critical to become a product nation.
Strategic autonomy isn't just a choice, it's a necessity. These 9 high-impact sectors have been identified as being key to India's path to strategic autonomy. But where do we focus? Strategic autonomy isn't about self-reliance in everything. It's about dominating high-impact sectors. Recognizing this need, the government is close to finalizing an ambitious 1 lakh crore rupees fund to stimulate private sector investment in core research and development. Strategic autonomy isn't just policy. It's the power to define our future. A future where India doesn't just follow trends, it sets them. It's time to build a nation the world will turn to for solutions. The world will depend on us. The time is now. The question isn't whether we can do it, it's how soon we will.